Hello, America. I'm Carolyn Conaboy. I'm the daughter of John Conaboy, who left Mayo in the 1920s, and the daughter of Alice Corsi, who left Inishark in 1924 and came to America. My father, John Conaboy, always said, "God bless America and God bless the Irish." His great-grandfather, his grandfather, Myles Joyce, you can find the story on TG4. Myles Joyce was hung as a murderer in Dublin in 1882. Since 1882, everybody has been trying to have him vindicated. And just this past week, the President of Ireland has granted him a pardon. I still would like to see the government responsible for his illegal murder to apologize, but I'm, from the bottom of my heart, very grateful to the President of Ireland and all the people over all those years, that's 136 years, that worked to vindicate Myles Joyce. That's my father's grandfather. As for my mother, she lived on an island called Inishark, which had to be abandoned in the 50s because you could not get into the mainland and there were no facilities of any kind on the island at that time. They had to leave to live a better life on the mainland. Both of these people were affected by the famine in this way. My mother said the famine never affected the people on the islands, and that would sort of make sense because people wouldn't want to go out 9 miles in the Irish Sea. But some people did, and it's passed down in her family that those who did come to the islands, the island people all very surprised that they ate the rotten potatoes that the Irish islanders would not eat. They did not suffer particularly from the famine. That's about it. She always was remarking about how startling it was that those people would eat the rotten potatoes. They were fishermen. You can see her story. Look for Inishark or Inishark, and you can see the story of the people abandoning that island in 1950. I'm very happy to talk to Americans, and particularly to all those wonderful Irish people who arranged to have my great-grandfather vindicated from a murder he was unjustly tried for. I'm going to give you a little vignette. It was in an Irish he didn't understand. His translator was a police officer, was part of the arrest, obviously part of the criminal justice system. The translator would say one word after my grandfather, Myles Joyce, spoke in paragraphs. He would turn to the judge and say, he says, "No, judge." There were 3 survivors of the murder. One of them, his grandson, still lives in Dublin. His name is John Joyce, a wonderful, nice man. You can find him on the film that I alluded to earlier. The other 2 were actually in the house on the night of the murder. Both of them survived. One died the next day, and one survived to come to America. Those 2 that survived in the night of the murder both said they did not know anybody who did this. Now, they lived about 20 blocks from my great-grandfather who was hung, so they would have known him if nobody else. In any event, it's a travesty of justice, but at least the Irish government has granted a pardon, but I'm still waiting for the British government. God bless America. I would just like to say, Buíochas le díolas waidín mudda, And if you don't know what I'm saying, you know something of how Myles Joyce felt when he was tried in Dublin, where they were speaking an Irish he didn't understand.